So this is just a super quick update on some of my projects. I haven't had a lot of time to work on stuff lately because I got a job. Hooray! That was amazing. But also I had to make something for the job, which is called a boom box, which is a box that I use to both stand on and store booms and put all my crap into. And that took quite a long time because I haven't done any woodwork before. So the electronics has kind of suffered a bit, but I've come back to it now, so I thought I'd give you a quick update. First is this Altoids distortion based on a 386. I did actually show this circuit in my previous update video, and all I did to finish it off is get rid of the RC filter. It wasn't really doing anything, so I just took it out to keep this sort of small and simple. One thing that I learned putting it into the tin was I didn't really plan ahead, which is kind of normal for me, but it means I had to remake quite a lot of connections to make everything fit nicely. I was really happy with this, but then I decided I wanted to run it off like a 9-volt power supply that is used for guitar pedals. And I very smugly remembered that these power supplies are centre negative. Yeah, centre negative, which means I had to sort of do the wiring backwards because the red wires had to wire into the black wires and all that. But what I didn't realise was the implication of that is that because the outer connection of this is all positive, it then sort of shorts out through the metal of the Altoids tin, which stopped the circuit working and also blew out the LED, which was a massive pain in the bum because it was stuck into its little hole with an awful lot of hot glue. I fixed that, but in the process of fixing it, I managed to have another short, which blew the actual 386 chip, which I think I've got on my table of mess somewhere. Yeah, so this is the 386 that was in the circuit, and I think that got shorted out and stopped working, so I just pulled it and replaced it. It's kind of all working now, but it's still a bit risky in terms of, have I really isolated all the places it can short? Will it die again? But you live and learn. Another thing I learned making this circuit was there's some sort of slightly weird design choices, like the LED doesn't tell you when the circuit's engaged, it just tells you there's power, so that's what I'll do differently next time. Also, this switch only has 2 poles, so it's an on-off switch, so when you switch it off, no audio will pass through. Whereas if I'd used single pole double throw switch, then I could have essentially wired it as a bypass, which means that you could have the clean signal pass through. I didn't really feel like remaking it for that, but that's something I will definitely change in the future. So what other projects do I have on the go? Well, the mini synth, which is going to be another Altoids tin based on a 556 chip, is still in bits in a bag. The big thing about this for me is it's patchable. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of wires going into a tiny breadboard, which is going to be like a sort of mini patchable synth. It's just a gimmick. It's just something I wanted to do. So that's also going to have a fuzz circuit in it, and I did prototype the fuzz circuit, but it's not working and I've not had time to go back and figure out why. It's a very simple circuit. I'm sure I've just done something stupid. Other projects, obviously I can't forget about my lovely son Coco. He's got his switches in his ears that glitch him out. I will do a proper Coco video at some point. The next thing to do is to take out sort of that orange blob by my thumb. That's his brain, essentially. That's his ceramic resonator, which controls the speed at which he works. And what I'm going to do is replace that with a high precision oscillator chip that I got from circuitbenders.co.uk, and that should let me slow him down for extra creepy drone effects, but I've not tried that yet. And the other thing I want to do is, in addition to him having these switches in his ears, one of them is going to also be wired into probably a relay, but I believe I can do the same thing with a transistor. What the point of that is, it should sort of make him freeze in time to a trigger signal that I send from a synthesizer. I haven't tested that yet, but it means he should be able to be a bit more musical. What else? The other project I'm working on, I haven't got very far with. I'll show you it now. Let's see if I can flip my camera. Now, I realise this looks a lot like a cheese board that I've basically sawed up, painted black, and attached a cake stand to, and there is a reason for that. but this is going to be a synthesizer. What I'm going to do is make some modules from Lock Mum No Computer, possibly, and there's a YouTube channel called Modular in a Week, and they make simple modules. So this is basically, there's going to be a power supply underneath and then ribbon cables coming out to a bunch of modules. And clearly I've learned nothing from my distortion circuit because I'm not really planning ahead. I have a few idea of what I want. Obviously I'll need a couple of oscillators and all that business. I'd kind of like to put a Big Muff fuzz circuit on here because well, I've got 2 PCBs and why not? I definitely want a really glitchy delay, which is another Lock Mum No Computer circuit. So it's going to be a kind of a mishmash. I haven't really planned it out. It will go wrong, but the idea is I'll learn how to make some modules and then eventually I'll make my own proper modular, but this is kind of a stepping stone, a way of learning. And I kind of like the irony of using the cheese board because one Christmas we were given 2 cheese boards, which is amazing because I haven't eaten cheese for several years.